All right, we're back. EO in a car with Kevin Puloski.
Fire.
Oh, fire! Fire truck. I have to pull over for a second. Gotta let the emergency vehicles go by. Must have been something Kevin did.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're smoking at the office.
That's it. It's funny because it's true. No, seriously, thanks for doing this.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. We're going to just get into it kind of quick, but before we get into like the EO part of it, can you give everybody a little bit of a heads up of kind of where you've come from and what you're up to these days?
So come from, started a company called Pundit. It's been 7 years ago. And we've grown pretty successfully. Now we're into the midst of starting another company called Northern Roots Cannabis Production, and which is also doing pretty well on, we're farmers, so production of cannabis.
And Pundit 7 years, what's Pundit all about?
We do business technology consulting, so IT consulting, IT outsourcing, and such.
Awesome. And then this new Northern Roots is that the core focus right now, or is...
Yeah, like I'm trying to now pare down. I'm going to like a few less days per week right now, so I can focus on Northern Roots.
Awesome.
So we're farmers, is what we say.
So what got you into entrepreneurship?
I was down in Dallas. I used to work as a CIO down in Dallas for Bob Schlegel, who was a former I can't remember the former name of YPO. So it was a former name of whatever it was called. Entrepreneurs Organization. So I was CIO for Bob down in Dallas for 8 years. Left and took off around the world for like 3 years, backpacking, and came back, did a bit of consulting, and after working once again in an industry, there was like no way after having freedom and sort of thoughts of what I wanted to do, there was no way I could go back to work for someone. So I ventured off for the first time to do something my own. Pretty frightening, but worked out.
And that was with Pundit.
That was with Pundit. So myself and a partner, Cedric, who have known each other for almost like, I think we met when I was like 18.
So that was
a lot of years ago.
Like 40 years ago?
Yeah, 40 years ago. I aged so well.
You look good, man.
I just tell everyone.
Like Yoda.
I just tell everyone I'm 58, so that way when when I'm 42, I just look so sweet.
Awesome. So you're starting another endeavor, and you're part of EO. So you're serial entrepreneur, two companies on the go.
I've had lots that failed in the middle too.
Okay.
I had Jumpstart, which was a health company.
Okay, awesome.
AED units, and then Senate Canada, which did beer distribution of microbrewery fridges. So, lots of little things.
That just didn't necessarily pan out the way the other ones have.
No.
No. So then what made you join EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization? What was the...
So I had started my company. We were still pretty small, but actually one of our clients, which was CultureWorks, Tina Bax, was looking for some advice on entrepreneurship and growth, and she was dealing internationally. And I remember talking with the previous guy I used to work for down in the U.S., Bob Schlegel, and he mentioned it was like, one of the best things he ever joined. Organization that he was involved with was YPO, I think it was called.
I think it was YEO.
YEO, yeah, you're right.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, YEO. And I said, what I could do is we could fly down, meet with Bob, meet with his old CFO, meet with some of, HR people. Let's go down and talk to him. So we hopped on a plane, flew down, met with Bob, and he gave us a tour of the company, what's been going on, and, we didn't have a chapter here. Right. So that was 2 years prior to us sort of getting the chapter. And
in Southwestern Ontario.
In Southwestern Ontario. So we were interested. Tina came back with, hey, it'd be great to be able to join this, but there was no chapter. And so when Brian and I think it was Brian and someone else contacted us because we had put our name in the hat as far as we're interested, we don't want to do the commute to Toronto.
Right.
We didn't want to do the Toronto.
So you're the third person that said that. Out of 5 that's done one of these so far.
Oh, wow. It was, it's...
Me being one of them.
Oh, really?
I don't want to be driving to Toronto all the time.
Yeah, it's 2 hours in, it's 2 hours back if it's downtown. It was like... Plus, we're Southwestern Ontario. We're a little bit different. I grew up in a farm community. Right? It's, I didn't grow up in downtown Toronto. We also have been all over the place. It was... So the opportunity came up that was like, hey, guys, if we can get enough interest in this, we can get a chapter going here. And I was now a little bit further along in my business, and I thought, it sounds like a good proposition. I didn't quite understand, that's one thing, when I joined EO, I didn't really understand what it was all about.
Right.
We kind of knew about the forum. We knew it was a bit of a peer network, but really when we started it and got into it, I still didn't really
fully get it.
Yeah. So that was how many years ago? 3.5, 4 years ago we founded SWO.
That's awesome.
So
now you've been in EO for 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
What's been the big kind of value you've taken from it, and what has it been like for you?
It's been good. It's I think it's kind of evolved a bit as well. From the onset of starting SWO, it was a little bit about the forming of a board. I was on another board. I had gone through corporate governance training for boards.
Yeah.
And so that was the initial thing, was, okay, let's get into a bit of a structured approach to running meetings more formally. We started right away into the forum, because my first forum was the first founding board and first forum. And all of a sudden, we had some really great members that shared with us, like Jarrett and Jerry, and some of the original founding members, which had experience. They were great at bringing that forum experience of, sharing, sort of that guidance without giving you hard, the Gestalt language. So helping with that experience sharing. Forum was amazing. That forum, and also we did our first retreat right away within, I think, 6 months.
Right. So
we got into a retreat, which just builds your forum that much closer. I think now the progression, it's progressed a little bit. Forum is still amazing. I'm in a new forum, so we're getting to know each other. This is the third forum.
Yeah.
And now I think the thing with EO is that global experience for me that I'm really really finding I'm getting sucked into. We're looking at international expansion, international growth with the new company. So we're trying to make partners within, Central America, Asia's, different learning different learning events. The global aspect of it is now becoming wow, great.
Cool. So then tell us a little bit more about what EO Global is all about.
So EO Global is, I find you still do the learning events. So you still have learning events. They're a little bit grander. The engagement on the learning, or the engagement in workshops, really, really, say once in a lifetime speaker experiences or speakers. The other part of it is, they say once in a lifetime experiences of where they are. So they're usually theme based on, spirituality, doing more with less. So, it's, they'll have a theme to it that pulls into the learning criteria. But then what happens is they layer on to once in a lifetime events, from a Bollywood party in India.
Yeah, that's
arranged
cool.
by one of the best production studios in India.
Awesome.
Where everyone's dressing up, everyone's involved, live music, people from around the world. And the other part is, it's there's none of that say BS bullshit barriers that you have those initial conversations with people, because everyone's of like mind within EO.
Right. That's cool.
So you're sitting around. You can have great conversations with people from around the world. And so you have these once-in-a-lifetime experiences. You got learning. And I've made some really amazing relationships now around the world.
Yeah, that's so cool.
To the point where in April, there's a group of 6 that are flying in from India. So at GLC, we're having 6. We have 6 people coming in just from India that we met, and they were like, "Man, we're coming up. We have an opportunity to come to GLC Toronto. We're going to come up and meet you." The Bahrainis are coming in, the Colombians are coming in, and it's wow, we really did make some great relationships in a short amount of time, because we're all sort of that EO spirit, right? So
yeah, well, it's interesting, right? Once it's kind of that door opener and that icebreaker right at the gate of talking to anybody in EO. And it seems like there's this kind of unwritten code that if you're from EO, you answer the call. If you're from EO, you give people the time.
Exactly.
And you get into really good conversations really quick.
Yeah.
So then, for Global, it seems like a bit more of what is it? 5-6 times a year, or is it based on the regions you can go anytime?
Yeah, it's a couple times. Like they do the universities twice a year. So twice a year is university. GLC runs once a year, but then they have other stuff like they'll have Canada One conference. They also have MyEO events. Like some of the MyEO events that they had paired in with some of the EO University.
Cool.
Became so popular. Like they did one in Central America. I think it was run for EO University Mexico. It became so popular they're running it every year now. Awesome. So now there's a waiting list to get into that MyEO event, which is like a tour, a food tour, a cultural tour, runs for 2 days. So there's so many on the global side. I think you're just scratching the surface if you're not getting into EO global events and global learning. And I know some of the other members within EO SWO, Jessica had attended the MIT University, I think, as well. Yeah.
Everybody that's been to a global event just comes back like, oh my God, you got it.
Yeah. Like, it's just wild. Like, they do really fill the ticket on, once in a lifetime. Like, this is happening because you're part of EO.
That's so cool.
So,
and then bringing it back to the local level, you referenced the idea of Forum being this really awesome experience for you.
Yeah.
What was it about Forum, just to give people that haven't necessarily been a part of it, what was it about Forum that brought value for you?
I think there's a couple things that were, and that's even evolved as well. Like, I think the start, it was about getting connected to some peers in a really trusted, confidential environment where you can share things that you don't share with others.
Right.
So it's from personal stuff to business stuff to, what stresses you're going through within business or even personal. So you have someone that you could talk to, like even some of the stuff I don't tell friends.
Right.
You're not talking about, because friends might not, I've made a lot of friends through EO, but some of my original friends would be like, they might not understand. It's like, I think there's an old saying, it's lonely at the top, right? If you don't have a connection to someone that's in a like situation, as far as, HR practices or expansion or, firing clients, what do we do when the client isn't meeting the values or, what our company is based on? So we have that sort of trusted group, but then it constantly evolves, right? As you get to know everyone within your forum, you've gone from, we've got personal growth, we've got business growth, we've got, even in our forum, we've got goal setting as far as, personal, once in a lifetime bucket list stuff that we're trying to accomplish. So it seemingly evolves, and as people are more involved, the deeper you go, the more you get out of it.
Awesome.
I think that's an old saying is, the deeper that you share within your forum, and the more you put into it, it just totally amplifies out, and you get like such a great experience.
Such is life.
Yeah.
So, it really seems like you're echoing a lot of points where people are constantly bringing up this idea that there's this local forum that's like this confidential, trusted network of people that you can rely on like crazy. There's these learning events that you can expose yourself to locally and regionally, and then there's this global, once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Absolutely,
and crazy learning experiences that are all accessible by being part of EO.
Yeah. And also is like, I think the MyEO stuff is also the push on the MyEO, and I've done a few MyEO things as well. That's even now another huge part of it that, is really cool. If your interest is in, mine's sailing, some of the stuff, fly fishing, shooting, so we've done some snowmobiling. So we've got now we're able to sort of you do the personal, but you also got passionate interests, right? That's cool. So now we're expanding on that.
Well, even when Ryan took us all out to Grand Bend on the 100-kilometer racing karts, that was just so much fun. So much fun. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah. And I think next year it's there's really a big push on, the MyEO stuff.
Cool. What would you say is the type of person that would be suited to join?
I think you're looking for something outside of your normal, you're looking for something outside of your normal sort of pure networks that you're involved with, whether it be something like, it could be chamber, or it could be, another group you're involved with. It's just not hitting the mark. So when you're there and you're looking for something as far as, personal development or personal growth, business advice, we're not supposed to say we give business advice, but it is a network of giving, sharing information and experiences, to help you sort of, unfold or sort of add some clarity to the path of the entrepreneur, like that, because everyone has so much experience.
It's crazy.
Especially there's like guys that have been involved, or there's big differences in age as well, which is amazing because some people are on their third or fourth business. They've had a company with 1,000 people. They've had a company, some of it's 20 people, some of it's 5. Everyone's got experience to share. So when you're looking also for that experience to be, shared back to yourself, as far, someone that's done it now can give some advice or some experience sharing. Or it could be as, you're looking for some different opportunities or once in a lifetime experiences. Everyone gets a little bit of something different out of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's just putting it together as far as, what are you looking for out of it? And, really, really, really getting involved. So the other is with EO, I find the more you get involved and the more you put into it, it just amplifies back. You just got such great.
So the idea is if you're going to get involved, get committed, be committed. Yeah. And and the common theme that I've heard in everybody I've asked that question to is this is a place where you grow as not only a business person, but as a person.
Yeah.
And so it impacts your life. So if you're that forever kind of lifelong learner, then EO seems to be a good platform for people to join in.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
Okay.
Well, thanks for doing this.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Hey, guys, if you want to check out some more information or interviews, you can go right here. Or if you want to check out some I'm in a Cars with Rob Murray, you can go right here. So I hope you enjoy it. Leave your comments below and share away. Thanks, guys.